Hi everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to show you a video on how I create and design my own papers on the iPad Pro. It's called a Procreate program. It's a great program, easy to manipulate. It takes a little getting used to, and I am very new to the program. It's very in-depth details to this program that you learn something new every time you try it. So I'm brand new to it, but I've been creating some of my own papers and I love it. I am addicted. So I haven't done any housework in like 2 days. So my husband's not so happy he bought me my iPad for Christmas, but that's okay. So in designing some French papers today, I wanted to show you how to use some simple tools to create really beautiful themed paper that you can use in your journal. What's great about this program is you can design your paper in a way knowing how you're going to use it. So a lot of times you'll order paper and it will be beautiful on both sides, and you don't know what side to use, so you hesitate even using the paper you bought. With this process, you can really design the paper knowing how you're going to use it. You can design it into sections of 4 where you know you're going to make book tags with it, or divide it into 4 and make pockets, or just fold the paper simply right in half and insert it in the journal, and you can print it as many times as you want. And you can go back and reproduce that picture and then add even more onto it. You can use family photos, you can use your own photography, anything you can scan into your computer, you can use, and you can manipulate even more, which is really fun. So for today's purposes, I have just downloaded images from the internet. So this is just for demo. This is not for resale or reprint. These images don't belong to me. They are just random things I've taken off the internet to demonstrate how to use this program. So if you are going to reproduce papers and try to sell them, just make sure you have the rights to the images you use. Either you've purchased them or you have permission, or they are just your images. So just a word to the wise there. Anyways, let's get started. So I'm gonna go into my gallery button here, and it's gonna drop down a menu here where we're gonna hit the plus sign, and it's gonna bring down a paper menu. So you can size your own paper, you can manipulate the pixels so you get a better quality print. It can get really complicated, but for today we're just gonna take the 11 by 8.5 size paper, which is a standard size paper for the printer, and I find it prints just fine. It's a good size. So let's introduce a background. So I like to work with handwriting. So I've taken this image here. So I go into this little wrench, which I'm sure has a technical name, but I'm new, so I'll call it a wrench. I go into insert photo, and it will bring up that menu you just saw, and then I click on the picture I want. We'll repeat that process. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm now going to blow this up. Oh, I've hit it. Look, so I've pressed on it. Let's start again. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to hit the undo button and get rid of it. Go back to the very beginning. Okay, wrench button, insert photo. I'm going to click on the writing, and I'm going to blow the writing up. So you can see you can manipulate these images any way you can think of. So there, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to hit a deselect button. So now I'm going to introduce another image. So I insert photo again, and let's work with these roses here. So we're going to do a French theme today. Now I have the pencil, the iPad pencil. My husband got it with me with the iPad, but if you don't, you're just going to use your fingers. It's fine. It works just as well. You're going to play with your image any way you want. There's all kinds of things you can do that you know, the more you play with this program, the more you learn and the more in depth your images will get. But we're going to keep it pretty simple today. So I'm going to I'm designing this as I go, so bear with me. So I'm going to put the roses right here, I think. So I'm going to click off that. And I'm going to go into a menu up here. So I'll walk you through this really quick. So this is the, hopefully I'm on frame here. This is the color palette. This one is double boxes here are called your layers, which we'll touch on a little later. This is your eraser tool, which we're going to use a lot today. This is the blending tool, which we won't be using much. And actually, I don't think we're using that at all. And then this is your painting tool, and you'll see a big menu come up, and we'll touch on that after. So right now we've stuck our image down. So right now it has that very much cut and paste look, which we want to get rid of. So I'm going to use my eraser tool, and I like the airbrushing, soft brush. So you click on airbrush, and then you click on this one, and that's the style you're going to get. So for those, if you click on it twice, up comes a menu where you can manipulate this look even further, which, you know, the professionals do, which I'm nowhere near ready to dive into that yet. So I'm just going to keep it simple. The only tool I play with is on this side, which is the size of the eraser. So you can see you can get very small and very big. So we're going to keep it about there today. And now I just push on where I want to erase. And again, you can use your finger, works just as well. And I'm not concerned about keeping a perfect edge on these roses because I want to soften them right into the background. So now I've erased all the negative space that I don't want. Now I'm going to go across real delicate, and I'll see if I can blow it up for you, really delicate across like this. And you can see some of the wording start to emerge. So if I push hard, it brings back more. And if I stay light, it just softens the background in. So it's a really great blending tool, this eraser. There is a blending tool, but it's more of a smudging tool when I like to use this soft eraser as a blender. And again, the more you play with it, the more tools you're gonna find, and you'll find the ones that you like the most. So I'm gonna introduce this element again. And I think I'm going to put it over here like this. So I don't even use the whole thing. I just use parts of it. I'm going to design this paper so that it's going to fold right in half and insert into a journal. So I know this half I'm going to design and this half I'm going to design. So just keep it a little bit simpler today. So I'm going to erase. I'm just going to repeat the process. So I'll do this a little bit faster. So my video is not 400 hours long. I'm glad you could join me today because I'm new to YouTube and I'm really excited about sharing some of these ideas and processes with you guys. And I'd love your feedback on, you know, what you would like to see, how I can improve it. As you can see, I have a very primitive setup here with my iPhone. So hopefully that will improve over time as well. I'm going to use that rose one more time and introduce it up here, I think. There we go. And I click on the eraser and I repeat the process. And just soften it real soft here. There. Again, I'm going to go back into insert images. So again, I downloaded a lot of these images already because I wanted to be prepared. I'm going to use the Eiffel Tower. Who doesn't love this beautiful tower? And what I love about this Eiffel Tower, other than seeing it in real life, is the actual distinct design element it has. So I have the softness of the roses, I have the softness of the handwriting, and now I have a very beautiful hard structure that's really going to kind of pop, be a little bit more of the focal point of the paper. So I'm going to repeat the process again. So I've put it where I want it. I know I'm folding in half. So I can design this half of the page. And you see it has a little bit more of a yellow background, but that will fade out as we erase. And again, we want to soften it in. We don't want to cut and paste look. We're looking to make it all cohesive. So I'm just softening it out. Okay. Let me show you when you, if you make a mistake, for example. So if I pushed really hard here and I erased part of the Eiffel Tower and I'm like, no, there's a really quick shortcut where you use 2 fingers and you press and it will undo, 3 fingers and press and it redoes. There's also an undo button over here and a redo button over here. So you can never not fix something. It's a really, really fun. It's very forgiving, this Procreate program. All right, I think I'm gonna introduce the Eiffel Tower one more time. Insert photo, go back to my Eiffel Tower, bring it in. I'm gonna, because I know this is gonna be half, I think I'll just make him a little bit smaller in the background here. Click on the paper, the eraser, sorry, and repeat the process again. This is really fun. I just kind of sit in bed and play with this iPad at nighttime and come up with different themes and ideas for my travel journal. Right now, this is using for my travel journal, the papers I'm creating. Plus I have one where I'm creating like a botanical look. So again, any theme you want, lots of fun, very versatile. Let's introduce maybe this Paris word. I like the writing on this Paris. And I'm gonna bring it, I don't like things symmetrical if I can avoid it. So I'm gonna put this off center, thinking my page will bend about here. I don't wanna lose any of the words, so I'm gonna drop down to about there. Okay, I'm gonna hit my eraser tool and I'm gonna start erasing. Now I find this a little bit too busy, so I just wanna take that part of that picture away and just soften Paris just a little bit. I want Paris to stand out though, because that's, you know, I've been there and that's what I'm going to be journaling about. Okay, insert photo, so we can use that design element again, say over here for the other page, the other side of the journal that we're going to use. So eraser tool again, get rid of that and soften. So you can see it's starting to really come together. So now you can look at your paper and think, do I need more? Do I need less? Let's insert one more design element. I think we'll use these little postage stamps. I love these. I guess they're, I don't know what they're technically called. I guess they're not a stamp. But anyways, they're en français, which is really nice to use. Goes with our theme. So I'm gonna erase. Go around and soften all, get rid of all the edge, bring back my layer and soften. So I want to show you quick about these layers, because layers, they come in really handy. Let me just add this one more time because I do feel like I need it. Repeat it, even though the page is getting bent in half, I still like it to design a full cohesive page. So I'll bring back my Eiffel Tower, just soften it out. There we go. So let me show you a quick little tool with these layers, which is really cool. So let's say I did want to soften Paris. I didn't like how bright it was. I can go and find my Paris image, which is, see all these different layers? Every time we introduce a picture, it's a new layer. So if I click on this Paris here and I bring it, let's say, to the bottom, it changes. See how it's disappeared because now it's gone under all those layers. Or I say, no, I really like the word Paris. I want to bring it back. I'm going to put it right at the top and it sits it right on front again. So you can manipulate that way as well. The possibilities are endless. There's a tool over here, for example. Let me just do a quick photo insert here. We'll use this guy. So you can see he's very bright, dark writing, right? So without having to use the tool eraser to erase it and soften it, you can also go into this hue, saturation, and brightness and hit layers. And you can play with the brightness over here and soften it. So you can see how diluted the ink gets or how dark it can get. So it's a lot of fun. Again, we're just touching the surface on this program. So I want to delete this guy. I hit the select button because I'm on this layer. I hit the select button and then I can just delete it. So if I hit, actually, I don't know where my delete button is. Oh, I know, sorry. So I hit on the layer, I just delete that layer. There we go. So there's an example of the paper. I hope you could see what I was doing. Again, my setup's a little primitive, but you can see how pretty this paper would be to print. I want to show you one more thing here with the painting tool, which I love this feature because I love the look of it, and I'll show you a printed piece after. But I go into the painting tool and hit spray paint and then hit flicks. That's the style I like. And then I'm going to go into the color wheel. I'm going to hit black, and I want to show you here the effect it has. So if I touch on it, it gives me these little spray paint dots, and the more I touch, the more thicker they get. So let's just do a little bit around the edge here. And you can really zoom in, as you can see, and get real detail. So if you're cutting out a picture of somebody you're using, you can get really close to the edge. There's a cutting tool for that too. So you'll just have to get into it and play with it. So now I'm doing it with the white. I repeat the process, but I went back to the color wheel and hit white because the white softens it even more. So I hit a little bit of this and it softens the edge. And what I love about that is when I go to, when I go to print, here's some pieces I've printed on coffee dyed paper. See here, I started to cut them up, as you can see. So you can see the effectant has that splotchiness, and it makes the paper look even older, which I love. So here's a Japanese style that I did on coffee dyed paper. Here's a French one that I did on white, regular white paper. So again, I can design it so that I can make tags. Here's one, you can see I did the same print there on coffee dyed paper, and I started cutting up my paper and using it for tags and things, pockets like that. And I think I did, I put up a video the other day of how I used some of this paper to make bookmarks and things. So here's a botanical one on a thicker coffee dyed paper. So again, the possibilities are endless. Like I said, I'm addicted. I love it. I'm just constantly designing paper. So here's another one I did with a little bicycle, and the exact same process I just showed you, using the eraser and softening it in. And then you can print this, and then you can manipulate it even more, and it makes your journals all cohesive because you're using the same colors and the same style and repeating several of the same design elements. And you can create a very specific junk journal or themed journal. They make great gifts, papers, but again, there is the copyright issue, so you got to be careful with that. Again, this was just demo, so I hope you enjoyed it today. I hope it gave you some ideas and inspiration on using your iPad Procreate. It's a little intimidating at first, but the more you play with it, just play with those little features and you'll see it all come together. And again, it's really fun. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe and like the video, and I'll post some more if you guys are interested. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye, guys.